So if you're a brand owner running ads right now, you've probably noticed this. Your ROAS looks fine, your ads are converting, but your cost to acquire a new customer keeps climbing every single month, and you can't actually figure out why. I see this exact pattern over and over again. So today I'm going to show you exactly why your new customer acquisition cost, or your NCAC, is rising, and the three-phase system that we'd use to bring it back down. So if you don't know me, my name is Mike. I spent the last 3 years building creative systems for e-commerce brands at my agency 2-5 Media. We've produced over 2,500 creatives and have had over 8 figures spent on our ads. So I see this pattern over and over. So a brand came to us earlier in the year doing around 200K a month. So the ROAS were sitting around 2.9. On paper, things looked solid, but when we actually pulled back the numbers, their new customer acquisition cost had gone up by over 35% in the last 6 months. So they're spending more and more every single month to bring in the same number of first-time buyers. So when they came to us, they thought they needed better hooks, better creatives, maybe even a new media buyer. They had already tried all of that. And here's the thing, the real problem was a lot more simpler than all of that. Their entire ad account was built to harvest existing demand, not to create new demand. And there's a massive difference between those two things. So that is what this whole video is actually about. So again, as mentioned, right, you guys don't have a scaling problem. What you have is a new customer problem. So reasons why your NCAC is probably rising is that we're pushing ads to the exact same high intent pool. So we found a winner, and now we've been rinsing the amount of ads that have been going to that exact same pool. So what's happening is that we're now ending up with exhaustion, and that's how we get creative fatigue, because the exact same pool of audience is being rinsed over and over again. So what does that look like in terms of the actual metrics? We see higher CPMs, we see conversion rate dropping, and we see the NCAC starting to climb. And this is where we have an issue, because a lot of brands right now are looking at NCAC as their North Star, because NCAC is a good indicator of like overall business growth. Because if we're getting new customers in the door, it shows that we're growing as a business. But at the same time, if we can acquire them at cheaper cost week on week or month on month, it means that we have an efficient method of acquiring new customers. So if you're a creative strategist or founder, you already probably know that creative is your targeting right now. This is key. We need to understand this at a fundamental base level. So what does that mean? In your creative, what matters is the tone. What matters is the emotion, the language being used, and of course the visuals. And Meta is going to use all of this to match this to the users. So if you have one voice in your creative, you're going to reach one type of person. And this is what happens here. A lot of people, they will find a winning ad and they will continuously rinse that. If they have a good angle, yeah, fair, but they're going to continue pushing the exact same pain points, the exact same angles to this exact high intent pool. So what happens if we keep on pushing the same ads, same tone of voice to this exact same pool, we're going to end up with exhaustion on the far end, which is what we want to try to avoid. So what happens when we exhaust the pool? NCAC starts to climb. So this is the concept that I want you guys to understand, because it changes completely the way you're going to look at your ad account. So what we're going to have is that we have 3 types of ads. Okay, we've got demand capture ads, we've got demand expansion ads, and we got demand creation ads. So what do I mean by that? So type 1 is demand capture. These are the ads that convert people who are already ready to buy. So they know their problem, they know the solution, they just need a reason to choose you, right? So your offer ads, your retargeting creatives, your buy now messaging, these convert well, but they only work on people who already know that you work. So again, high intent, they'll convert now. These people don't necessarily scale because they already know about you and they already know they have a problem. So demand expansion is the sweet spot. So this is where we're trying new angles and new beliefs. So demand expansion, what we're doing here is we're taking people who are top of funnel, who don't really know about you, and we're bringing them lower into the funnel. Excuse the drawing, it's horrible. This is where we're actually going to start to see a drop in new customer acquisition, because we're testing new angles and new beliefs, which brings us to different intent pools, not this exact same one we've been rinsing. And then demand creation is almost nobody does this, but these are ads that create awareness of the problem themselves. These are top of funnel style ads, so people who are not problem aware. So these are the ones that make people realize that they didn't have a problem. So these are ads that don't just convert existing buyers, but will convert new ones as well. So here's what you should do, right? Go into your ad account right now, look at every active ad and categorize each. Is it capture, is it expansion, or is it creative? If it's mostly capture, what you're going to notice is that you're going to see plateau every single time. So mostly capture means that we're literally just pumping statics. What we're going to notice is that we're continuously speaking to bottom of funnel people, which is what's going to cause the high CPMs, which is what we don't want to see. So in terms of split, what we do want is an array of ad types in this context. We want want demand capture, demand expansion, and demand creation. Look at your ad account, right? And if you have over 70% of your creatives going towards demand capture, which is your bottom of funnel, you're going to have an issue, because this is where we're going to have the rise in CPMs, which is not what we want. Because what's happening is that we're continuously fishing in the same pool. It's basically like a shrinking pond. So we want to basically move from a pond to move to an ocean. So I think the best ad accounts and the best way to have this set up and the best split, where again, this is something that you need to test and see how it works for you, because obviously context is important. We want 40% in demand expansion, 40% in demand capture, and then we want 20% in demand creation. If your split doesn't look like this, every time I'm going to show you, will explain why your costs keep on climbing. So now you know the problem, but the real question is, why does this actually happen? And the answer is something most brand owners, creative strategists, etc. actually completely miss. By the way, if you're a brand owner doing 50K plus a month and you want help building a creative system that actually lowers your acquisition costs, we might think we'd be happy to see how this applies to your brand. We can show you how we implement our creative strategies to help you reduce your CPA while scaling your actual ad account. So link is in the bio to book a free 20-minute call. So here's the shift that most brand owners haven't fully wrapped their heads around. So in 2026, your targeting doesn't find new customer, your creative does. So let me explain what I mean by that, because this is really a big deal, right? So Meta is not manually matching ads to audiences the way it used to. What it actually does is it reads the signals within your creative, the tone, the emotion, the language, and it matches those signals to the users. I used to be a physicist, right? And one thing that physics teaches you is that every system responds to inputs. So in this case, your creative is the input. Every word, every visual, every line of dialogue is acting as a targeting signal. So Meta is reading these signals and deciding who to show it to. So if your creative only speaks to one type of person, you only ever reach one type of person. And the algorithm literally can't do anything different with that. Now, here's where most brands owners get it wrong. So they hear creative diversity and they think, okay, this means more ads. So they take the same script, they write the same hook, and they call it diverse. That's not what that is. That is not diversity. That is just absolute noise. And what happens is that Meta groups similar creatives together. And if your ads all look and sound the same, the algorithm is going to treat it as the same thing. So your reach gets capped no matter how many variations you're going to run. So what real creative diversity actually looks like, it comes down to 5 signal types, and I call this the signal stack, right? So what we have here is the signal stack. So we've got 5 signals that each ad should basically convey, right? So we've got pain. Pain speaks to the people who already have their problem. We've got desire, shows the outcome, what life looks like after. We've got trust, so testimonials, UGC, real customer experiences. We've got authority, so founders, experts, data, credibility. And we've got identity. This is people for me. So what you want to do is diversify signals, because when you diversify signals, you reach new clusters, and this is where we get your NCAC actually dropping. So if I was to go up here again now, right, what does diversity actually mean, right? If I was to take this, duplicate it, diversity means we've got multiple of these. This is what diversity means. Diversity means is that when we are creating ads on the front end, so I'm just going to put the word ads in big text. So when we're creating ads, we're no longer only fishing in one pool over and over again. When we start to diversify the signals that are coming from these ads, we can now reach different pools. So imagine each arrow here is a different signal, and each signal goes to a different pool. We don't have to worry about continuously fishing in the exact same signal, because if we keep going for pain, this is literally the exact same pool over and over again. Does that make sense? I hope what I'm saying makes sense to you guys, right? Like I mentioned, if we're speaking solely just about pain, all the ads are speaking to the pain of the customer. We're going to the exact same pool. Maybe if we want to move into a bit more of desire, then we're going to a different pool. If we want to touch more on identity, like this product is for me, we're going to go to a different pool. So this is the purpose, and this is what diversity means. And when we say we want to diversify our ads, we want to diversify the signals that are within the creators themselves, because that's how we reach these new clusters and avoid going into the exact same pool over and over again. Because a lot of brands, what they do is that they'll over index on 1 or 2 of these, usually pain and desire, right? Which means they're only ever reaching a small slice of the available market. When you diversify across all the different ad types and ad signals, Meta can start matching your ads to completely different new clusters. So people who've never seen your brand will now get to see it, which is how reach expands, and that's how we get your NCAC to actually drop. So the key principle here behind all of this is every sale is a belief shift. People don't buy because they don't believe something yet. So every ad needs to shift their belief. So their old belief would be, okay, fall asleep faster. New belief, melatonin ruins sleep. So they may feel like, okay, I need something that helps me fall asleep faster. But if your ad positions it in a way where it's changing their belief, it's making them go from one way of thinking to a new one, this is what builds trust, curiosity, and this is what drives action. Okay. So one rule that you have to go with is that each ad has to have a new belief. Not 5, not 3, one belief per ad. So let me give you an example. So a lot of ads would say this will help you fall asleep faster. And that only speaks to people who are already looking to fall asleep faster. But what if your ad said melatonin is actually ruining sleep? Now you introduce a new belief and you completely new entry point to that category. So now you see what's broken. What comes next is the exact system for fixing it. By the way, below in their bio, we've got 9 creative frameworks that will help you sell any product ever based on our 9 steps, our 9 frameworks. So if that would be something of interest for you, the link's in the bio, so feel free to grab it so you can apply it to your business right now. Link is below in the description. So what we've got here right now is the 3-phase system that we run for every brand we work with, and I call this the creative scaling system. So the 3 phases, what we've got is exploration, we've got expansion, and we've got scale. So phase 1 is exploration, and in exploration, this is where you want to launch 10 to 15 new creative concepts, different beliefs, different signal types, different personas, different formats, different creators. Now, the key here is that you don't optimize too early. The goal in phase 1 is not ROAS in 1 week. The goal here is to find a new signal cluster, see what connects with people outside of your existing audience. Think of it like running experiments. What we're doing here is we're testing hypotheses about which beliefs and signals unlock new customer segments, and this is the physics of it. You are gathering data, not making decisions yet. Phase 2 is where you're going to take what worked in phase 1 and you're going to remix it. Same belief, different creator, same signal type, different format, same persona, different angle, right? And what you're doing here is you're strengthening the signal and the signal clarity so Meta can find more of the right people. You're telling the algorithm, find me more people like this, but through a new lens. And then phase 3 is scale. We want to spend on the winners, expand horizontally, and this is how we stabilize and get a lower NCAC. You're not just putting more money to sign the same ad, you're finding more people who fit the same profile through more entry points. Does that make sense? So this is a cycle that top brands explore continuously. So literally exploration, expansion, and then scale. And then what happens is that with every new cycle, what we do is we unlock new customer segments. So every cycle brings your acquisition costs down. All right. So this is the big reframe that I want you guys to really understand in this video, right? You are not making ads, you are training the algorithm. Contrary to popular belief, it's not about finding one winning ad, it's about training the algorithm. What you're asking is like, what new customers am I not reaching yet? Every single tells Meta who to find. The brands that win this are the ones that test more beliefs, create more signal diversity, and expand the market faster than their competitors. Next time that you're seeing that your new customer acquisition cost is starting to creep, don't ask, how do I make better ads? Ask, what new customers am I not reaching yet? Because the answer to that question is where your next level of growth is hiding. Now you know how to structure your ad account to lower your NCAC, but here's the thing, a great creative system built on the wrong angles will still kill your results. So I made a full video breaking down exactly how to find winning creative angles for your ads. So watch that next, and the link is right here.